Morning, everybody. I just wanted to take the opportunity to talk to you all because we're not having assemblies at the moment. And I think it's fair to say that the announcement yesterday from the government that schools in all of the country would close from Friday afternoon for a little while, we don't know how long, it was quite a major thing. And normally I would have an assembly and I'd talk to you about it and what have you. But of course, we're doing things a little bit differently at the moment. Some of you are at school still, some of you I know are at home. And there's just a few things that I want to say, not much. But first thing is that if you're feeling worried about this, that's really natural and normal to feel like that. Because actually, I think most people feel very uncertain about what's going on. But what I'm going to say to you is this: everything that the grown-ups, people in charge of running the country, people working in hospitals, schools, people working in shops, all over the place, we're all working together as a really big team, even bigger than Duncan, to get through and make sure that everybody is safe and as well as they can be, and we all have to do our part. It's not the first time that this country's been in a really tricky spot. And actually, it's not just us on this occasion, it's the whole world. And if I think about the history of Duncan, which I have been for quite a lot this year, it's 80 years old, this school. But do you know, it started in 1939, just as the war was declared. And this school has gone on to thrive and be the wonderful, amazing place. And the countless numbers of boys and girls that have gone through this school successfully, right from when that horrid period of the Second World War started through to today. And so I'm going to say to you, whilst it is worrying, please don't worry and trust that all of the grown-ups are working really hard to make sure that we come through this, hopefully very quickly, but even if it's longer, that we'll come through it and we'll all be okay. So please try not to be overly anxious about it. That's my first point. My second point is that we are going to be closing the physical building of the school, but school is going to be very much open. Next week, you will receive from an email to your parents remote learning, and that's going to be a series of different tasks and activities to keep you occupied, because next week was a school week if we'd still been open physically. Obviously, we then have a 3-week Easter break, and so just as we would normally have a break from work, so you will have a break from work. I expect the Easter holidays will be a little bit different, and you're going to have to adjust your expectations, perhaps not thinking that it's going to be quite as exciting as it would be normally. Those fun, exciting things will come back at a later stage, so really just have to accept that that's going to be the case. And then when we are due to come back on the 21st of April, if the school building remains closed, we will still be functioning as a school. We will be what is referred to as a virtual school, an online school. And I'm going to be sending out materials to your parents to understand how we're going to do it. And if you're in year 2 or below, right down to early kindergarten, we're going to be using something called Seesaw, and we'll explain that all to mums and dads so they understand. And if you're in year 3 up to year 6, we're going to be using something called Microsoft Teams. They're slightly different, they're geared to your age groups, and we're going to be making sure that there's lots of material, structured material, so your school day, whilst it won't be at Duncan, will still be with the Duncan community. It just will be virtual. That's my second point. School will still be open, it just will be a virtual school. So we're going to make sure that you keep working really hard. And then my third point is, you've got a really important role to play in this. Children have a really fundamentally important role in all societies, and you're no different. So I need you to really make a big effort to work well at home, not just on your schoolwork, but on your family work. And what do I mean by that? I mean being cooperative, avoiding falling out over silly things, understanding that everybody is finding this completely different to what we would normally do, and that takes time to adjust. So I'm going to ask you So really think about that. I often say at Christmas, don't I? It's a really lovely time of the year, but it's also really hard work because people are tired and there's lots to do. And I say, just think about that, play with your brother or sister, even if it's a game that you think is a bit silly, just join in. And I'm going to say to you now, really do help out your families at home. Really think about that. Really take some time to consider how you can be the best help you can be, because by doing that, trust me, by us all doing that, we will make such a big difference that we'll be able to get through this and return to, I actually think, in some ways, something even better. But that's not for now, that's for the future. So they're my 3 things. The last thing is that as a country, we've faced all sorts of challenges. And I've got a letter here that was written in 1946. It was written by the King at the time, King George, and it was to all boys and girls who were at school. So the war had finished. And I won't read all of it, but I do want to say to you that he said to all boys and girls, I send you a personal message to all boys and girls at school because you've shared in the hardships and you have helped us to triumph. I know you will always feel proud to belong to a country which was capable of such a supreme effort. Proud too of your families and their courage, their endurance and their enterprise. These will be qualities that you will grow up and you will continue to use for the nations of the world, for unity and for peace. Now, he was writing after the Second World War, very different to now. But do you know what? I think those words are apt for this moment. You are going to really help and you are going to do an awesome job, and we will make sure that we are in regular contact with you, and your form teachers will be in regular contact with you when we move to online learning. And whilst it's different, it's going to be okay. And not just Team Duncan, this is bigger than Team Duncan, this is Team UK. We're going to be awesome.